Hello there, folks. Welcome back to Glory Hunter with me, DoctorBenjyFM. Good to see you. I hope I find you very, very well. Now, you join us at the end, almost at the end of the transfer window. So today, of course, is one of those days where we talk you through the transfer window, and there it is. That you can see it all laid out in front of you. The players that we've sold, the players that we've brought in. Typically, in a year where I really need to spend the money to bring in some big names, I'm making a profit of around 60 million at the moment. I still have 78 million to spend. There's still a little bit of time left after the game against Angers, and that period there is going to be very interesting. Today we've got the European League draw. I was going to say Europa League draw. But first, let's run you through the details then. Who's gone in? Who's gone in? Who's gone out? And let's start then with that list of outs of names that are pretty familiar. So a whole host of names down here that probably aren't as familiar. But if you start probably from Romelho, a player that I brought in for 1 year, hasn't really impressed me at all, if I'm going to be completely honest. And I've sold on almost straight away to Vafsi. Made a little bit of a profit. So all in all, it's fine, right? Yeah, it is. Convince yourself there, Ben, did you? Convince yourself. So 4.4 million, modest, early start. Bruno Santos is the next one though, 10 million, rising to 12.5, was on a big wage at our team, and getting that ever older wasn't a player that I wanted to be able to rely on maybe into next season. So I thought, well, move him on now. We've got players here that I think can do a job. It should be fine. Like Ruiz was brought in, of course, last season, so he's going to be fine. And Bruno Santos then has left the club. A really good servant for Marseille, had a phenomenal year last year, so you might think the price is actually a little bit cheap, but I just think that with the way that the team is set right now, you'll see it in a moment, I think we're going to be just fine. Now for some bigger names, and Mimi, our first choice goalkeeper of last season, has gone to Sassuolo, the 22-year-old Brazilian. Again, a player that was pretty good really, but I just feel like isn't quite good enough, so has been moved on, 18.75 million. Marseille have made a small negative on that, which is my fault, I guess. 750k though. Last year again, it seems weird. I'm selling two players that had really good years, but I think goalkeeper, a lot of the comments were saying you've got to replace him. And you look at that scout summary there of what I've now let him go compared to who we've now got here. Colassa, we'll see him in just a moment. I think we've made the right move. Next up, Lorenz Bainaz. Now I'm saying our top goal scorer from last season, 13 and 26, not enough for me, and 32 million pounds from Dortmund. That was a lot of money, I felt like, and it just made sense. The problem I've got is, more often than not, he's having these seasons where he's scoring maybe 13, 12 goals, and I need him to be slightly better. Again, 7.2 average rating, very good. I've brought a player in who I believe is better than Bainaz, and that's the dream here, viewers. So he's off. He's a really good player, but I just think as a first-choice player on a lot of money, he's not the man for me. Not right now. Next up, Jaro Rutz, and this one's a little trickier because in theory, we could have kept him. He didn't have to leave, and he was part of the transfer stream. If you watched last episode, it was a mammoth episode where we talked about all things transfers and sort of set the groundwork for the work I've actually done. You see, he's gone to Everton. He's already got 2 in 3, which is annoying me. But within that, has got a 6.87, and that sort of sums him up. He's a very inconsistent player, and because of that, I felt like selling him on was probably a right move. 20 million profit on the sale for Marseille as well, so they're probably quite happy about that. A really talented player, just not the player for me, that's all. And then finally, it was the highlight really of the stream last time. £75 million for Jean-Luc Dumas. The 23-year-old is undoubtedly a talent, and you can see why Newcastle have gone out and spent the money. But £75 million for a player they brought in on a free that was a good player without being a great player. I'm fine with it. And again, when you see the replacements we brought in, I think you'll be relatively happy. Some of them I think you saw in the transfer stream, but some of them will be new to your eyes. And one of them will have come from Nice. So let's talk about them. That's the outs then. 182 million, pretty good all in all. I think we can be happy with the business that we've done. Of course, we've still 80 or so million left to spend. This list maybe isn't complete yet. So let's go through it then. We have to start at the bottom, of course. Chouameni, we'll say that. On loan from Barcelona, costing me very little in terms of what he is. 29-year-old Czech international. You can see really very, very well-rounded. Some fantastic physical attributes. Great agility, dribbling, finishing, first touch, things like that. So yeah, really, really solid player. Very similar, in my opinion, to Bainaz. We've pretty much bought a Bainaz replacement for a free, essentially, on loan for the year after Barcelona had him. 3 and 6 for them. They've now let him just be loaned out to me. Welcome, mate. Welcome. And he's not my starting striker, it's fair to say. The next one, Rossano Del Pret, we've brought in from Inter, just a backup right winger really to play back up to Ruiz, of course, who we've already got playing in that spot. But yeah, very, very pacey, great sort of option off the bench as well. You can see why I've brought him quick and from Inter. What more do you need, viewers? Now this one's interesting because this one's a real struggle for me, not because of his quality, because of his name. I don't know. Iraklis Ioannidis. That was pretty close. It says he's German, but that looks quite Greek to me. No, it's not. It's not at all, apparently. It is. It's got to be. It's got to be. But the one thing with him was that he was a very well-rounded, mentally brilliant as well, left-sided centre-back. That was the key thing here, to have someone left-sided. And he's our guy. Ionadis, probably pretty close. That's what we'll go with. Yeah, a superstar hopefully in the making, and we'll get a really good solid season out of him this season. Still might look at a left centre-back. That's one area where we might still spend the money. Veldboer has come in as a backup goalkeeper. I literally don't need to say anything else. Of course, you knew about this one already. Keith Byrne has already been secured. This is our new main man. This guy's everything. Our whole season depends on what this man does. And so far, based on what I've seen, 3 assists in 3 appearances, a 7.93 average rating. We've played 3 games already, won them all, I should say. A really good result against PSG that I shared on Twitter. But yeah, to get him on a free transfer, a bit of a coup, really. 100 grand a week, but well worth it. He's like Xavier Cabaye, but with talent and goals and assists, hopefully. 28, bang in his prime. Keith Byrne, you are my guy. Now a familiar face, Yanchev is back. And the most interesting thing for me about Yanchev is that based on his attributes and what I want him to do with those attributes, he's brilliant. Based on the star rating that Football Manager give him, he doesn't look that good. But I think for what I want, for what I need, perfect. To bring him in as well from Nice, a familiar face. I knew exactly what I was getting when I bought him. I bought him to Nice originally. Yeah, I think it's a really good addition. £6 million, well worth it. Good midfield depth as well. Welcome, Yanchev. I'm not going to start every time, but he's very solid, you know. Next up, Lucas. We've got 13.5 million on the left back. We've already got Inzaghi, of course, but I thought I'd bring in someone else as well. Inzaghi's getting that little bit older. Similar situation, maybe to Santos, the right winger. I wanted to bring in someone ready for next season as well, and I think this is probably going to be our guy. He's going to start the majority of games this season, and Inzaghi's going to play backup, really. But yeah, I'm really, really pleased with this addition as well. Has a decent time at Braga, 13.5 million, really good fee as well. Started the season brilliantly too, so I feel justified in my purchase. Now, Mimi left for 18.75 million, and in my opinion, we've brought in a better goalkeeper. Kalasa has come in. You can see straight away from the star ratings, again, if you pay any attention to those, but it's the handling, it's those mental attributes, the reflexes on him as well. Really, really solid. 6 foot tall, 26-year-old German. Last year had a pretty good time, really, for Hoffenheim, and has been a keeper for Cologne loads of times. So, loads of times for loads of seasons. We've brought him in. I think he's going to be great. 2 clean sheets out of 3 already. A 6.57. That's what you want to see, viewers. A 6.57. How? How do you keep 2 clean sheets in 3 games and have a 6.57? I don't know, viewers. I don't know. Now, Dumas left us. He went to Newcastle. Brilliant player, so I need to bring in a real good replacement, and this is that guy. Alexander Munoz, the 23-year-old, I should say, from Brazil. Box-to-box midfielder, can do it all. Technically and mentally really quite good, and physically a superstar. 6 foot tall, comes in from... Oh, which team is this? Palmeiras? I think it's Palmeiras. Yeah, Palmeiras. I think he's going to be great. He's already scored a hat-trick. He scored a brilliant... Let me show you, actually, to give you a better idea. So he scored a hat-trick in the recent game against Brest, and it's where he scored the goals from that I like the most. So he scored 3 goals in the game, and that's where they were from. So already, you know that I love him, because he scored 2 long ranges and a great shot across the box. That was his first one, and then scored 2 almost identical goals with the ball going in pretty much the exact same place. I love him already, viewers. Next up, another defensive option, and this is quite an interesting one because we wanted to bring in some solid cover. Similar to Yanchev, really, in terms of the attributes and what he brings with attributes. Really, really good. In terms of the star rating, again, sometimes I like to pay attention to it when it backs up my point. If it doesn't back up my point, I will ignore them. I think a really, really solid defender. Manchester United were letting him go after buying him for 44 million. I figured if he's been at Arsenal into Manchester United, 18.75 million. The chat, really, you were the driving force behind this one during the live stream. Very, very quality player, and I think having him here with still 80 million left to spend, the business here is fine. It's a really, really good option. Especially now we're in Europe, we need to have strength in lots of areas. And if the league goes wrong, we need to have a good Europa campaign. That's something on my mind. And then finally, of course, Bainaz, Roots, both left, both good strikers. We need to bring in someone different. £47 million is the outlay. It wasn't someone that I showed on stream, actually. It was someone that I approached later after that. Emmanuel, this is our guy. So far, he's played a few games for us. Again, 3 goals in one of the games. It was a hat-trick against PSG to kick off the season. I'll show you that in just a moment. £47 million. It's funny because I'm buying a regen who's 29, but you can see why. The goal scoring record on this guy is phenomenally good, as is his average rating season on season. I wanted to bring in someone who is proven, that is consistent, and this is my guy. Hopefully it translates from the Portuguese Premier Division over to Ligue 1. That's what we're banking on a little bit. I'm a bit worried because we've played those 3 games. He scored in the first one, hasn't scored in the next 2, so already a little bit nervous. But Emmanuel here, this could be our superstar. Agility 20. Again, not that dissimilar from Bayanaz, but I think as a complete forward, which is what I'm actually playing him as. He's a natural winger for some reason. Media description, attacking midfielder, where he can't actually play the attacking midfield, the traditional attacking midfield role. But I'm playing him as a complete forward, doing basically everything from that position. Whether his link-up play is going to be good enough, we'll see. But that's what we're using right now, and he seems to be doing pretty well in it so far. So, Emmanuel, welcome as well. Now, the team and the system and the formation... Think Arsenal, think Inter, think Dortmund, think Valencia, think Marseille. It's not the Nice Diamond, I'll tell you that much. So, of course, this then is what we are playing. Colasso will be in goal. Goni continues at right back. This is the one area where I have searched so far and high and low to find a right back that is good enough to come in right now and be brilliant. I've had a couple of options that might be better, and it's probably where, with a couple of days to go, I'm going to bring somebody in. But currently, I've not found anyone really that makes me think, oh, I should just drop Goni. The pace is a concern. The crossing and dribbling are a concern. Everything else is pretty good. The mentals on this 20-year-old, pretty good as well. The arrows make him look far worse right now. If they're all green, you'd be going, nah, stick with him. He's great. But because they're red, obviously doesn't look as good. It ebbs and flows, Football Manager. You know this. So much potential. Hopefully, he's going to be good for us. Shelton, of course, remains in the side for now, but he's got some good some challenges now. Fanga's there, of course. We've got Patty, who's got an injury to kick the season off as well, which isn't ideal. Ionadidis, I'll get that. Oh, I just said Adidas there pretty much, didn't I? He's going to be alongside Shelton with Lucas at left back. Lejeune keeps his spot in the centre, of course, a player that I'm sure you're familiar with from last season. Munhoz will be next to him. I've had a player called Munoz before. It's very challenging. Ruiz one side. Ludovic continues on the left. I was going to bring in a left winger, but I've decided to stick with a 21-year-old Frenchman. He had a pretty good year for me last year. Hopefully, I say a pretty good year. He had an outstanding year for me last year. If he does the same again, we're going to be very, very happy. Byrne is a big X factor in the centre. With him behind Emmanuel, I think we're set for a pretty good season. And with that said then, let's go into our first game. We've got, I say our first game. We've played 3 games so far. The 4-1 winning against PSG was weirdly dominant from us. We were the home side. You can see 24 shots, only 5 for them, and that's been a theme in all the games so far. The same happened against Show, 32. We had 32 shots in that one. They had 2, again limiting them to barely anything. And again, the same applied in that final game as well. Barely any shots for them. Dominant performance from us. If we do the same again against Angers, we are setting ourselves up for quite the season. Before we do that, though, I mentioned it before, the draw for the Europa League is now. So let's see where we finish in that. We're a top seed in the group as well. Do you know what? Because we're the top seed, let's just draw the teams and see who we get. We get Cagliari, Moldost, and Lokomotiv Moscow. Can I get an... Ooh, no, you're not interested, are you? It's, yeah, we've done the Europa League before. We've won it. So we will focus far less on this. Of course, the league action is what matters. Tomorrow will probably be the Monaco game, if I had to pick one. And we'll see how we get on this season. But let's play Angers. Let's see how the team do. Can we keep this run going early season? I flipping hope so. PSG play on the Friday night. They are... Despite the fact that I beat them 4-1... they are still pretty... I feel like we fluked it, viewers. I'm worried. But then I look at the match stats. We didn't fluke anything. We destroyed them. It was Emmanuel's first game, and he scored 3 goals of really high quality. And I was just sort of sitting there going, this is good. And then he's not scored since. So maybe today will be the day. Also, there'll be a few people saying, Ben, have you got a new camera? Because it looks... the setup has changed. Everything has moved. I haven't got a new camera. It just looks better because I finally had someone play with it who knows what they're doing. Shout out Nerdphonic. But it's nice, isn't it? We've got blue there for Marseille. If I ever do a save with, I don't know, West Ham, just change it up to that. There, look, that's good. If I ever do a save with any teams in I don't know any team in we've got a selection of colours. This is Marseille. Bayern Munich have put in a huge bid for Lejeune of £38 million. I will let him go for 60 up front, and if you want him, well, it's still 60 up front. 60 is a lot of money. It would allow me to go out and spend it elsewhere. Would I sell him for 55, viewers? 40% of the profit is actually owed to Monaco. So, I mean, I'm going to reject and probably ask for more now I think about it. The fact that they're going to get most of the money, not ideal. He now wants a new contract, which, I'll be honest, based on his quality, I'm just going to give him. It's quite a cheap price to pay to have him stay. If we can get him on 70 grand, I mean, again, the rest of the contract's pretty self-explanatory. I'm not moving it, so I expect him to sign for 70. And, well, that's job done there. I feel pretty good about it. That was remarkably easy, and I'll take it, viewers. All right, then, away at Angers, you know the team. Of course, lots of familiar faces still here as well that I didn't mention. Aki's still here, Afidi still here, Nzagi, Fanga, Diallo, of course, lots of players. Galili still here too. So we've got players that you're still going to recognise. But we've certainly freshened things up a little bit, and hopefully it's going to bring the best out of us. We've got a much better squad now, and I think going into games in the Europa League, we're definitely going to have a stronger sense of rotation, which is still going to remain with the quality that we've got. Of course, not in Europe last year. This is our first year having both. Luckily, we started the season well. Of course, Ligue 1 and the French Cup, priorities. 2 years left, so it's got to happen. I still don't have an international job. Looked at the Argentinian job, so I could manage Diego. They've not sacked the manager yet. They might not even qualify for the World Cup. So, yeah, that's the team I want to be at to win it, isn't it? Oh, yeah. Anything to get Diego back, though. What a moment that would be. All right, come on then, lads. Show them what you've got. Produce a performance here to be proud of. 4 wins we could kick off the season with. That's what I want right now. So far, we've been absolutely rolling through sides. I'm going to keep a strong eye on the match stats to see if we do it again. You can see already 70% possession, shots flying in, and so far we're stopping Angers from doing anything, it feels like, as the time is sort of ticking away here. No real big chances to speak of currently, but finally, a highlight. And we're on the ball, and it's Lucas to take the ball forward early on, as now Byrne picks it up. I love that we've got a player called Keith Byrne. It feels like he shouldn't be here, really, as Ruiz scores. It's a lovely move from Byrne, flicks it across. Alto Ruiz. Again, we sold Santos. Ruiz is pretty much the same player, very good dribbling ability, has now scored a goal with only 10 finishing. We'll take it. Header at the back post. We go into first position, and I don't mean in terms of dance, viewers. That is a very niche reference. Byrne flicks it across the other side, though. There's Ruiz with a great header into the far post, and 1-0. We lead, viewers. I love this. This is a good season. I can feel it already. If it all falls apart in the next sort of hour of the match, then I'm going to obviously be sad. It's a corner. Byrne plays it in. Ruiz was there again. Probably should have scored. Again, so far so good. At half-time then, leading, heavy on the possession as well. It's the away side. This tactic, this is the harsh reality of the tactic. This tactic that we've got, the 4-2-3-1, that I've used so successfully at other teams, it's the only tactic I've consistently been very, very good with. And it's a shame because you've seen me do it. I've tried to develop other tactics. I've tried to make other things work, and I just haven't. Against the AI this year, I've not really found a system that has worked really, really well. And that's a shame, really, because I want there to be a bit of a unique identity. Like with Nice, of course, we had the diamond, but we were never really very successful with it. And I wish that was the case with other sides. But I think at the end of the day, we're trying to win things, right? So going back to what is essentially our old faithful in terms of formations. And there's a little bit of identity, it's sort of my identity this season within the save. Let me know tactically, what's been your sort of go-to formation this year? And has it been the 4-2-3-1? I'm interested, as we've gone close, and now so have they. But yeah, let me know, comment section. Get involved. Are we all just using 4-2-3-1s? Is that what's going on right now? All right, Goni lays it off to Manoz. He's going to have to get there first, as the Angers attack is finally happening, it feels like. He's got so much space to run into. We can't get goal side of him. He's racing forward. It's a good save, and we needed that right there. 73 minutes gone. Is it time to think about a change, as they've got a second highlight now, as they've just had one? Can we counter from it, or are we going to give up a chance? Hopefully not. Ball played across. Goni's there, though. Knocks it off to Ruiz, and now it's about Emmanuel, and can he get in behind? We've seen strikers in this system have been so pivotal, and Emmanuel's going to have to be one of those. Complete forwarding it up top. You can see there, nice little bit of link-up play, keeping the ball, moving it around. As we've got an overlap on that side. Lucas, options in the centre if you can find them. Ruiz at the back post. You love to see it. 2-0, 74 minutes gone. And we lead, and it's looking good, viewers. This season's looking good. Lucas on that side, in acres of space, too much space really, drills the ball across. Love that cross. I wasn't sure if it was whipped or what, but it was. Beautifully drilled cross. As, 2-0 then. Probably time for a change. Emmanuel and Ludovic have had pretty quiet games so far, and maybe bringing in another left-sided player is definitely an option for me at the moment. I'm actually going to take Manoz off for Yanchev in the centre, and maybe Diallo on for Ludwig to play the inside forward role. Fresh legs out there, 15 minutes to go. Let's see if we can get a third. A little bit of a transfer update, a little bit of a game, a little bit of a change of scenery. We're having a lovely time here, viewers. And it is the plant. Come on, why not? Let's all get naked. I forgot what? Doesn't make sense, Ben. Corner played in by them. They've scored. They've scored with Well, they've actually scored over the allotted time, so the referee really should have called this earlier. I mean, you can see the time there. There's 4 minutes of added time, and Lucas has actually just headed it into his own goal there, bless him. I mean, he's got a goal as well. I said I wanted a third goal. He's taken it a bit too literally. They've had a shot on target. I think that was their final shot of the game on target. But a dominant display, a weird way to give up the clean sheet. But we'll take it. And you'll see from the league table, things are looking very, very good. Next time we meet, then I think it'll be the Monaco game. I don't know how the league is really shaping up this early on. Did I say the Monaco game? Was that the one we said? I don't know. I don't think it was now. Was it? Was it? It was Monaco. There it is then. I think that's what we'll go for. We'll see, of course, how the league season goes. And hopefully by then, we've won every single game. That's the dream. But I also know with this Marseille side, especially with European football intertwined, it's going to be tricky. If you enjoyed today's video, though, please do drop a like on it. A full week of Glory Hunter coming your way. So drop those likes on it. And let's aim for 1,000. Why not? It's a nice number, isn't it? And I'll see you soon then for a whole lot more. Tomorrow, 5 PM. Stay tuned. And yeah, live on Twitch as well all week. See you soon. Goodbye.